Hey chickies, okay, today we are doing a somewhat anti-Valentine's Day mani. I'm calling it I Can't Bear It because it's like a play on words. I shouldn't have to explain it, but I feel like I should because I'm worried that people won't get it. But I'm sure that you all will because you're all very smart. Now, the original image that I was working off is actually an image that came from an email from Cotton On, which is a website or a shop here. They sell um, clothes and stuff. The same people who own the Typo uh, franchise or whatever it's called. Anyway, they sent me an email. It was the Cotton On Kids one, which I for some reason still get those emails, even though my kids don't generally wear. They're too old for that sort of stuff. Anyway, it was a design on a baby's bib, and it was this really cute sort of but kind of sad bear on a stripy background. Anyway, I really hope you like it. I had lots of fun doing it, although it was a little frustrating for me. Anyway, let's get into it. That was a long intro. Sorry. Now, I'm using polishes from Kester Black again. It's just a coincidence. They're on my shelf. Anyway, so the base color is a color called, I believe it's Stone. It's a really beautiful, very, very light grey, almost white, and it's pretty much opaque in two thin coats. It's a really beautiful, kind of stylish, fancy sort of, oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, it's very nice. I love it. I really do. I got this one last year, I think. Yeah, it was one of the ones from last year's collections. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Okay, so base coat down, I'm now going to add a coat of Seche Vite on all of my nails. I'm going to be using some nail vinyls again. Seems to be that's what I'm doing a lot. I'm going to be using What's Up Nails nail vinyls. Their vinyls are really good and I love their packaging because it's really cool. So I'm using these straight edge ones. I've used them before. You've seen them. They're as thin as nail striping tape. And basically we're going to be doing some teeny tiny stripes. Lots of them. So that's why I only did it on 2 nails rather than all 4. I could have done it on all 4, but I got a little bit lazy and thought, I don't want to. But as you can see, we're doing really, really, really teeny tiny stripes. Oh, and oops, I forgot to mention I've got some liquid latex to protect the skin around my nails already down. That's from Bliss Kiss. It's called Simply Peel. If you're allergic to latex, please do not use this product. I speeded this bit up because it got really boring after a while, even for me in real time. So I can't imagine what it would be like for you. Now I'm going to be using a latex-free sponge to lay down some black over the top of this striping tape or striping nail vinyl. And the reason I'm using a sponge as opposed to just painting it with the black polish, and by the way, the black polish I'm using is called Black Rose, and it was also from Kester Black. Now, again, the reason why I'm using a sponge is because I didn't want it to be jet black. I wanted it to be almost like a very dark grey, but I wanted it to be black at the same time. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, as you can see, I haven't been as successful as I have in the past with this particular tape. And I have a little bit of mess to clean up, but that's okay. It's not a problem. I was a little bit annoyed at the beginning, but I worked around it and I worked through those feelings of annoyance and figured out ways to distract myself from the mess that I had made. It's not a big deal. It's okay. Everything's fine. Avert your eyes. Now, these messes, although aren't that big of a deal, and I probably could have just left them as is and not worried about it, but I got a little bit antsy about it and went and got my What's Up Nails brush, which is a flat, square-edged brush. It's a very teeny tiny brush and perfect for trying to clean up between the lines. Now, this is possible. I'm using, as per usual, using non-acetone remover. I don't know how it would work if you use acetone to do this. I imagine it would work quite similarly, but you have to work really fast and try not to dig in with the brush, otherwise you might end up back down, you might end up cutting back down through to the nail, and you don't want to do that because then you'll pretty much have to start the whole thing again, and that's no fun. Now, I repeated the stripes on the other nail and did a much better job, so I was really sad that I hadn't actually filmed that bit, but either way, I'm sorry about that. I'm adding now a coat of Seche Vite on both of those nails again, because we're then going to go ahead and paint on the middle nail the bear. Now to paint the bear, I'm using acrylic craft paint, just my plain old black matte acrylic craft paint and a fine detail brush, the same fine detail brush I always use pretty much, which unfortunately you can't buy because she still hasn't opened her store, which is really upsetting. So annoying. Anyway, so this bear is, or the design for this bear comes again from that bib. Now, I don't know what people in other countries other than Australia call. So it's like a piece of cloth you put around a baby's neck to stop it from making mess all over itself. Let me know what if you call it something else in your country. But in Australia we call them bibs. I hope that's what you call them. Anyway, so I stopped and started this and redid this about 3 or 4 times. It was a relatively simple design, or at least it looked like it was. But then when it came to the doing of it, it turned out to be not as simple as I thought. Because, you know, in my head, I was going to do it exactly the same way as they did it on the design for the bib, but it did not turn out the same. Similar, but not the same at all. Like, mine was way worse. I mean, it's, as I always say, I liked how it turned out in the end, but I would have preferred if it had turned out exactly the same. But I don't have the ability, it seems, to make... I would never have been a very good painting or artist counterfeiter, because I cannot make things exactly the same as what I'm looking at, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so basically we're just doing everything in silhouette to begin with, so it's all in black over that middle striped nail. You understand what I mean. You get me. God, I hope you get me, because otherwise this is really confusing for everybody. Now, this was really strange because initially I thought I'd do the eyes using a dotting tool, and then that was too big, so I just went over those other eyes that I did with a dotting tool with black, and then I came back in with a brush and did them with a brush, and the first one was great and the second one didn't look perfectly round, so that was terrible and I had to redo that again, and then came back in with a dotting tool again, and it was too big because the original image I was working off, the eyes were teeny tiny, like they were just specks, not actual dots, so I had to redo that. But you know, while I was waiting for the white to dry so I could go over it with black again, I did that white patch in the middle, which is where his mouth is going to go. So it's like really confusing, and this was really frustrating. And look, I don't have the license for the original photo, but if you go on to, I'll put Cotton On's website down below, and I'll actually put a link down to the bib so you can see what I was working off, and see how very much different mine is to theirs, and see how simple the design was, and see how monumentally I stuffed it up. And you'll probably just think to yourself, how the heck did she stuff it up so badly? But, you know, in the end, again, repeating myself, in the end, I really liked it. I did those eyes like 100 times. Not 100, that's an exaggeration. But I did it a few times before I got it to where I thought, you know, that'll do. Geez, you need to give up or you need to just go home, even though I am already home. But that's beside the point. This was really frustrating for me. I don't know why. Now, when I got to this point to do the nose and the mouth, I actually thought to myself, gosh, I wish I had have done this bit first rather than trying to do the eyes and the ears, but just done this bit first, because that's the part for me where it really started to look like a big brown or big black bear. Before that, it just, it was ridiculous. Yeah, anyway, stop it. Goodness. Now, in order to tie this sort of the design together with like an anti-Valentine's Day theme, I decided to add some teeny tiny little red hearts above the bear. no particular reason. That wasn't part of the original design, but it was just came out of my head, so I'll take credit for that. And then after I did that, I thought, oh, this will be a great way to fix that disastrous first stripy nail, and I decided to distract everybody by putting a heap of love hearts on that nail too. So that was a total genius moment, if not, or not, you know, it depends on how you look at it. From a distance would be better. And of course, once you've tortured yourself enough to this point, you can go ahead and seal in that fabulous design with your favourite top coat. Of course, I'm using Seche Vite, as per usual. And just so you know, I did mattify the whole mani. Oh, well, not the whole mani. I mattified the 2 middle nails as an afterthought. And that's it for this one. I really hope you liked it. Even if you didn't, that's okay. It's perfectly understandable. It's fine by me. I'm not going to cry, I promise. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, chickies. Oh, and thank you for subscribing, and thanks for that delicious thumbs up. And don't forget to go and watch my previous video. And again, subscribe, because it's free. I totally stole that from Jimmy Kimmel, but that's okay. I'm sure he won't mind. Anyway, I'm going now.